And I think this is the main thought, if I could narrow it down to a sentence. This is what happens when great players play together. So why can't I do that?
So, 2008 season, LeBron gets to, I think, as far as the second round against the Celtics. He won scoring title this year. And I'm like super curious to see where he landed in the MVP race this year.
So we're in 07-08. Kobe Bryant, obviously the winner. This is only MVP, which kind of is a crime, especially if you have somebody like Shaq. I got one, Kobe got one, Nash got two. Something wrong with that picture.
Fact.
But LeBron fourth in MVP voting.
Okay, I'm not mad about that then. All right, because I was just gonna say, because if he was like second or some shit, it would have made me flip out, because they had Kobe at like fourth in the 06 season when he had 45 wins, the same shit as LeBron.
Yeah,
and he I was just curious to see where he landed, because if he would have been second, I would have just been like, yo, the NBA really is sucking some balls right now.
So you said he won the scoring title. Let's see where else he finished. This is my favorite game. Did he score the most field goals? Yeah, he was the only guy to get 10 field goals this year.
Yeah,
I feel like in the past few seasons we've seen Iverson, Kobe, a few of those guys be with him up there above 10 field goals made. He's the only guy to get there, and he's the only guy to get to 30. I would imagine then. Yeah, wins the scoring title by a lot.
Yeah, he was on at 30, like right on the dot.
Which is it's cute. It looks cute. So also, top 10 in assists, 7.2.
Yeah.
Right? I can't imagine he'll be up here. I always check the rebounding anyways, even though I don't think he'll be there. I feel like once we get to Miami, even though his rebounding is only like 8, it levels up because of the lack of big men who are doing that.
Yeah.
So 5th in free throws. And I think his field goal percentage is getting better.
Might be first in attempts. First or second in attempts.
Yeah, I'll check that in a second. But I wanted to see. So his field goal percentage, 41%, 47, 48. So he's hovering right around that 48. Basically for this part of his career. Yeah. So he's pretty consistent with that.
And I'm curious, can we go to his advanced stats too?
Yeah. You want to know player efficiency rating?
No, I just want to see how he's shooting from further as his career keeps progressing. Because I remember.
Oh, you want to know the shooting stats?
Yeah, because I remember when I think it was his second season, we were talking about his shooting. He was shooting like, I don't know, like 32% or something from further than like 16 feet.
True. We're not. Pretty sure they set the distance. Yeah, just shot distance. Okay. So it's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
Still pretty bad from the mid-range.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So that's like easily the worst part of his game right now is that.
And I feel like that's the reason people were so like hard, like starting to get hard on him, because it's like you didn't really see him hit the big shots. I think he has one against his first game winner is like against the Magic the very next year. But
yeah, I was about to say, I think I have that one queued up for next season. But
so like I think that was like, and that's what we do with all players. If you really look at it, like if you don't have like a consistent mid-range shot that you can get to, or like a consistent shot that you could get to in general, like they kind of harp on them. That's why Giannis is getting the shit. Like LeBron got shit for that for almost his whole career until he developed one.
Yeah, and it's why you always harp on the fact that Giannis should develop a mid-range game.
Yeah.
So, as you were saying, Lakers, a lot a lot more wins than the Cavs.
Yeah.
Celtics, is this their first year together?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Celtics won 66 games.
Yeah. A lot of people say that the reason the Celtics built their little dynasty thing was because they feared LeBron. I don't know how true it is. But
I don't know it. Well, the Celtics didn't build their big three
through to the finals the year before. Then the Celtics come in and then they get Kevin Garnett. Like they did that whole big move in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, but that wasn't the players doing that. Like that's not what we're going to see in a couple of years.
The
organization. I think the reason why I think I would debunk that is simply because it wasn't up to the players to come together. That was Danny Ainge in the front office making moves.
No, I agree. I didn't mean Kevin Garnett himself or Paul Pierce. I meant more so like the Celtics organization. Like looked at that and they were like, we're gonna need this. And that's what people push towards the reason. And I'm like, I don't really know. I think it just like all blended well, like at that time to make it work. But I don't know if they were specifically saying, oh, we got to get through this guy, so we need this. Like, I don't think that was really.
So KG was over LeBron though in the MVP voting and got first place votes. I'm surprised he didn't get more, if I'm being honest. Looking back, like
Kevin, well, it's because you had three.
Changed Boston. Boston was shit before he got there.
Yeah, but he also had like Paul Pierce there, Ray Allen.
I know, but usually those guys get penalized way more. We see that way more, unless it's Kobe and Shaq who are finishing 2 and 3. Like, usually, like we saw Tim Duncan. This is a great example. Tim Duncan with 60 wins, leading the league, and finished down here in 7th again. Mm-hmm.
So you're saying that you're surprised that he got that high?
Yeah, I'm surprised he got that high. And if he's gonna get that high, like if you're gonna give him like the way, so it's kind of both. Yeah. Because he's already here, I'm like, why? You might as well, like, that's the shit that doesn't make sense. But if you're going to give it to any other person, Kobe Bryant's fine. Like,
yeah. I feel like the Kobe thing was more so like, because who's this? Like, there's no way this season is better than what he did in 06. Isn't like nowhere near as close as what he did in 06 to me. Like, and I feel like we kind of snubbed you a couple times, so here you go.
Yeah, it's definitely some of that.
It worked out that LeBron's team wasn't if LeBron was on top of the conference, he would have won the MVP easily. Yeah.
Also, Chris Paul 21-11. Where did the Hornets finish though? 2nd. So like, I don't know. I think the best player on the best team thing. I don't know. I think if it was done today, I think Kevin Garnett would get more first place votes. I think if you were to redo that vote.
You think that he should get more? Hell no. There's no way that Kevin Garnett,
he's the best player on the best team.
And Ray Allen saying just doing what they do. And they were in their prime at that time. Kobe just got Paul Pierce.
So Paul Pierce is tied for 14th. He got 1 vote for MVP, right?
Yeah.
And Ray Allen's not on this list. So clearly the people at the time felt that KG was and it's true. He changed the culture there.
He was the best player on that team, for sure.
And he completely changed the culture in Boston. He did. Him and having that group of guys, they just established that team chemistry, and that's what made that work right out of the gate in the very first season. Because we've seen big threes and we're going to see one later on that they don't come out and do what Boston did in the first year. So,
it's a fact.
Let's see. So, where do we want to go next? Playoffs, right? So, LeBron, once again, is this like the 3rd year in a row he plays the Wizards in the first round?
Yeah.
I feel like he has a house in Washington, in D.C. Fucking, what did he average this time? So 29, basically 30.
He owns them. Too. Yeah, it's not like it's crazy. He's beat them every single year, right? Has he lost to he didn't lose to the Wizards?
No. Look, it's the first round. LeBron has never lost the first round matchup.
Yeah.
But I just like to see the dominance in the first round, because sometimes he'll sweep them, and then other times it'll be like, it's been a couple of closer series as we run through these years. Antoine Jameson, 17 and 12. Like another 40 minutes a night performance. Oh yeah, how many minutes a game was LeBron playing? I was like, look at that. 41. Okay. I feel like that's light for LeBron.
41 minutes. Yeah. I mean, the year before he had like 40. Then it was against the Pistons. He was at like 46 minutes.
Yeah. So pretty easy. No real standout. LeBron James led every single game in scoring.
Was Gilbert Arenas in the series?
No.
No.
His run had come to a screeching halt.
Okay.
Due to guns.
And the pistols? Pistols tuck? Yo, yeah, I don't know about Gilbert Arenas.
One of these days we should
craziest shit.
Yeah, have an episode just of wild NBA stories. All right, so here's Boston at Cleveland, 7-game series.
Yeah.
Right? I have the highlights of the game 7 that, as you can see, is close, and we'll show that in a minute, but I want to show the series stats first. Kevin Garnett, basically 20 and 11, 3 assists, a block, and a steal.
When you're talking about your favorites, you know how to round. You're good at rounding.
It's fucked up though. It's fucked. I knew I was waiting for.
I was gonna say, like, to bring it up. Round, like,
and all I can think in my head was, I can't get better. I am not allowed to get better because it just works out.
It's just when you're talking about your favorites, I'm like, oh wow, Russell really knew how to round right there. When you're talking.
Okay, Paul Pierce, yo, LeBron. 20 points a game, but he got it on 40% shooting.
Yeah,
it's 44 for 100 shots.
But they used to have shooter. People. I don't care what people say. I don't even care what the stats say. I watched it. Like they used to have shootouts against each other. Paul Pierce and Paul Pierce used to get the better of LeBron a lot.
This was my favorite. This was the team that. This is the reason I have that Celtic shit behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Paul Pierce used to get sure, he had more of a stacked team, whatever. But when it was close games, Paul Pierce was getting LeBron. Like I remember, I used to always be like, I was a Pierce fan because of that. Because I was like,
I believe after a while
LeBron with this, I'm cool with that.
I remember, Cleveland played Boston around this time period. I don't know if it was in the playoffs or not. It might have been.
Yeah.
But I felt like the game plan was, we're going to cuff everybody that's not LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
And just let that guy do what he needs to do. LeBron, 43 minutes a game in this series. Let's see if he played every minute of the game 7.
He averaged 27 points a game?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
So hold on, I got to...
He put up 45.
He had 45 in game 7.
He said, I'm not going...
He played basically all but 1 minute of the game.
Wow. And he freaking shot 29 shots. This is what I'm talking about. Like, these are the kind of things that you look at LeBron, you're like, you can't really hate him.
This is the second half. He was shot 50%, made 3 threes.
What he do in the fourth quarter, though? That's what, that. 13 points in the I like it. He shot 9 shots. That means he was aggressive as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not
to be outdone. Pierce is there with 15 points in the second half. I'm pretty sure he's got a lot of those coming in the fourth, but I'll check. The 6 of those coming in the fourth, but it was a duel between the two. How many did he finish with? I have the highlights. We're going to go to those in a second. So LeBron obviously finished with 45, like we said. Pierce 41. Yeah, that's right. I figured he had a lot, but he had done most. I guess he did most of his damage in the first half. We'll see here.
Yeah,
but what do you think LeBron learns from this?
At this point, he's just like, yeah, I might have to leave.
I think it's already in his head.
I gave him a full clip, and I didn't even. I lost. So
you think you really think that that's what he thought already? Because we're gonna see another 2. We're gonna get 2 more MVPs here coming up.
Yeah, I was just being a dick. Um, at this point, I think he's just thinking I need some more help. I think he's like, if you get me another guy or something, I could beat these guys. Because he's looking at it like, I almost beat them by myself. Like, we went 7 games.
Yeah.
So I think at this point, he's just looking at it as, I need another guy, and I'll be all right.
I think I think it's a combo of two things. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Olympics is this summer, right? The summer after this.
Yeah.
Correct? That was a very impactful Olympics for Dwayne Wade, LeBron, Chris Paul, Melo. Melo was on that team.
Dwight Howard.
And it's because they got to see Kobe Bryant work.
Yeah.
And they all say that was the reason.
Dwight Howard really learned anything from it,
but it's also the rumored point in which the big three.
That's the Redeem team, right? Am I right?
Yeah, I think no. 2012 was the Redeem team.
Oh, okay. So I don't think Dwight Howard's in the 2008 one then.
Okay, but either way, I think that's the point. In the first time Wade and Bosh, because Bosh, I'm pretty sure was there, but I know Wade and LeBron were there, and they got to talk about possibly being teammates. I don't think they talked about going to Miami.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did or they didn't, but I definitely think being teammates was put on the table at that point.
They were like besties too, so I'm sure they were talking about that shit for a while.
Yeah.
Like, bro, we got to hoop together.
So I think the combination of this, I think that's how it started. I think that's where it started for them. Was Boston is no joke, man. And they play well together as a team. Like, why shouldn't great players play together?
Damn, that's crazy to think about. Because that's true. Because you just get off of Boston.
Yeah.
A big three just formed. So that's when you could start thinking of something like that.
Yeah.
That
just thinking about
history makes like how it like unfolds when you look at it. Like, that's crazy.
And I think this is the main thought. If I could narrow it down to a sentence, this is what happens when great players play together. So why can't I do that? Like, that's basically, I think, where the thought process comes.
Yeah, because he's like, yo, my teammates are ass, clearly.
Yeah.
I'm not like look at I got to 7 games against this team, and I didn't have no one really. Like, my second best player is Booby Gibson.
Is he still here?
I don't even fucking know.
Second best player is Big B. Delonte West. He was a really great teammate. I remember that.
Yeah.
Only guy to score. We're gonna get to him in a later series, but
my second best player is Delonte West,
scoring 15 points in Game 7. That's the best anyone could come up with.
And what they thought was getting him a guy was getting Mo Williams. Like, I was like,
and then Antoine Jameson a little later on. But again, you're jumping the fucking gun. But
I'm saying, like, I'm talking about like when because I'm saying, like, I think he thinks. He thought at that point is I don't
think is Mo Williams on this team. I don't think he's on this team
next year. That's what I'm saying. After this,
I get what you're saying. Okay, I'm sorry.
I need another guy, and their other guy that they got him was Mo Williams. That's what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Okay, so I definitely think this was a pivotal point in the career of LeBron James, because this is the Celtics winning the championship now, right?
Yeah.
And they get him. Yeah, this is the Kobe. This broke my soul season. He would go on to say that this cracked him. This cracked his brain. But
yeah, he said,
I absolutely think that's the take from this. There's no way.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, like how I don't think right after this he was like, I need to team up with 3 guys. I don't think that was what I think he was like, I need some more stuff. Then you get the
I don't think he was saying
the 08 team, and then you go through that whole thought process. We got big 3. I got my 2 boys here. Why don't we just flip this and win some championships in our prime? That's probably what made him start thinking it. And then he's like, first let me see what the Cavs do. And then the Cavs.
That's the other thing.
He's like, yo, fuck these, man. I'm out.
But that's the other thing that needs to be mentioned. The key to the Celtics thing, and the reason why it ended up happening in the first place, is because all 3 guys were in their 30s. And And basically, those first 2 seasons where they were together were the last 2 years of their prime.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they would have stretches, they would have a couple playoff runs, but those first 2 seasons, that was the tail end of their prime, and that's the only reason organizationally that was able to be pulled off. Yeah. No one had done that from a prime perspective besides duos to this point.
Yeah.
A Kobe, Shaq, a Magic, Kareem, but even Kareem was older.
Yeah.
Like there was always somebody that was out of their prime, but once a great. No one was great at the same time.
Yeah,
you know but that's a select.
Even though we could argue
all 3 guys,
Bosh is not great. So like,
well, hey, look, we'll get there when we talk about Miami. But I definitely think this is a pivotal year. Jesus Christ, in the career of LeBron.